With an hour on the clock, the pendulum in Manchester United's FA Cup semi-final with Brighton Hove Albion at Wembley swung. After weathering a Seagulls attacking bombardment in the opening exchanges of the second half, United, for the first time all afternoon, started to get their act together. A loose pass across the center circle from Julio Enciso, intended for Kaoru Mitoma, was cut out by Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and he made the decision to provide the catalyst for change in the game's dynamic. Despite being surrounded by 3 blue and white striped shirts, Wan-Bissaka, who was substituted ahead of United prevailing 7-6 on penalties to book an all-Manchester date with City on June 3, felt brave enough to glide away from both Alexis Mac Allister and Pervis Estupinan. It immediately resulted in those behind Robert Sanchez's goal cranking up the volume. The decibel levels then peaked even higher when Wan-Bissaka, despite having his shirt tugged by the recovering Estupinan, managed to find enough strength and power to get away from the left back, even though, had he have stopped or gone to ground, a free kick would have been awarded. Eventually, once level with the penalty area, he played a low pass inside that found Antony, who stabbed the ball into Casemiro's path before it was eventually cleared by Mitoma. Although, ultimately, it was an attack that came to nothing in a game that was devoid of clear openings, it was one of United's best attacks all afternoon, even though it was not via a source that you would have usually associated with attacking play. Wan-Bissaka, who was going to be allowed to leave Old Trafford last summer, was flexing his muscles in attacking scenarios, looking to get forward as much as he could. Given the nod at right back for the 5th game running, with Diogo Dalot again preferred at left back, despite Tyrell Malacia's availability, the former Crystal Palace man was given the unenviable task of dealing with Mitoma, who has been one of the Premier League's most eye-catching performers this season. Often considered one of the best one-on-one defenders in world football, it was obvious prior to kick-off why Erik Ten Hag had selected him. He dealt with the threat of the Japan international with ease, showing why United and Ten Hag could have a very difficult decision to make on his long-term future this summer. Considering he had played just 4 minutes of first-team football prior to the World Cup break in November, it has been a remarkable turnaround for a player whose United career was dead in the water only a few months ago. Ever since the World Cup, Ten Hag has struggled to settle on a preferred right back, frequently rotating between Wan-Bissaka and Dalot. The latter, who scored in the shootout win at Wembley, was excellent prior to the mid-season break, establishing himself as one of the first names on the team sheet, but he has struggled for form since the restart. Wan-Bissaka, on the flip side, has gone up through the gears, once again highlighting Ten Hag's ability to get the very best out of any player he gets the chance to work with. Against Brighton, for example, the former Palace defender won all 4 of his take-ons, all of his 6 ground duels, won possession back 7 times and was not dribbled past on 1 occasion. It was the definition of a rock-solid performance. Wan-Bissaka, despite his decision to drive forward on the hour mark, is still limited in an attacking sense, although he has improved in that regard since the start of his revival under Ten Hag. He is continuing to stake a claim to extend his United career beyond the summer, and on current form he has every right to believe he could stick around. As James Maddison tweeted following the conclusion of regulation time, wingers do run out of ideas when trying to get the better of him. Mitoma, in the end, was left with nowhere to go. For a player who could not even get into the matchday squad when Dalit was suspended for the 2-1 win at Fulham prior to the World Cup, it has been an extraordinary recovery. Whatever happens come the summer, Wan-Bissaka has a crucial part to play between now and the end of the season.